Hi guys, so this is we're going to be talking about Unit 1, Lesson 1 notes, which are solving for equations. From this, y'all are going to be able to evaluate functions and composition of functions. So to start, we're going to look at the steps to solving equations. First thing is simplifying each side. This may include distributing, combining like terms, or getting rid of fractions and decimals. So the first thing you're going to wonder is, how do I eliminate fractions? To do that, you're going to multiply each side of the equation by the least common multiple. Then you're going to ask, how do I eliminate decimals? This you're going to do by multiplying each side of the equation by a multiple of 10. Once we've simplified the equation and simplified each side, we're going to isolate the variable. So that means we're going to move the variable to one side. We'll go over this in just a second in the example. Once we've got the variables moved to one side, we're going to solve for the missing variable and check your solution. So to do all this, we're going to go through our first example problem. Example A. So what we've got here is 8z plus 12 equals 5z minus 22. So the first thing you want to look to see is if you can distribute. You don't have any parentheses here, so there's nothing that you need to distribute. Next thing you want to look for is if you can combine any like terms on either side of the equal sign. So here's our little equal sign. On this side, we don't have any like terms. That means that we don't have any multiples of z, or we don't have any multiple integers. So for there, we don't have to worry about anything. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to move all the variables to one side. So the easiest way on this is we're going to subtract the 5. So one of the biggest rules when you're moving variables is what you do to one side, you have to do to the other. So if we want the 5z to go away over here, we are going to have to subtract it from both sides. So 5z on this side, 5z on that side. So that's going to get us 3z over here plus 12, move everything down. This is going to cancel because you've got your positive and negative, equals, bring that down, and you've got your negative 21. So now we're on our next portion of this. So we have all the z's on one side. Now we want to get all the integers on the other side. So to do that, we have one integer over here, and we have a variable and an integer on the left side. So what we're going to do is we're going to move this integer, plus 12, over to the right side of the equation. So we're going to do negative 12, and remember, what we do to one side, we have to do to the other, negative 12, and we're going to do the same thing. So we'll end up down here, you'll pull down your 3z, these will cancel out, and you'll get equals negative 33. So we have our last part that we're going to do is we have to solve for the missing variable. So we have 3z equals negative 33. So we need this 3 to get onto this side. So right now, 3 is multiplying by z to get negative 33. If we wanted to get the opposite, just like we did with the addition and subtraction, we have to do the inverse of the function, which is going to be to divide by 3. So remember that multiplication is the opposite of division, and addition is the opposite of subtraction. So when you want one to cancel out, you do the opposite, or the inverse function. So we're going to divide by 3 on both sides, which will get us z equals negative 11 as our answer for the first equation. The last step in solving equations was to check our solution. So what we're going to do is we're fully going to check these solutions. So I'm going to erase all this. And we're going to actually put, so our z was negative 11. We're going to plug that negative 11 into our equation to see if it equals out to check our solution. So we have our 8, negative 11, plus 12 equals 5, negative 11, minus 21. So now we're going to just go through our operations. So first thing, we're going to multiply on this side, and we'll get negative 88 plus 12. Then we're going to multiply on this side, get negative 55 minus 21. Then we're going to do our addition and subtraction on both sides of the equation. So over here we've got negative 88 plus 12, which will end up being negative 76. And then on this side we've got negative 55 minus 21, and that's going to get us to negative 76 as well. So this checks our solution because negative 76 and negative 76 are equal. So the next one we're going to do, we're going to follow the same process. First thing we're going to look and see is can we distribute anything. So in this one we can. We've got a 6 that can go to the t and go to the negative 2. And over here we have the 2 that can go to the 9, or the 2 that can go to the negative 2t. So we're going to distribute it all the way through. So we're going to put the 6 times t minus, because we've got our subtraction here, 12. Then we're going to have 2 times 9, because remember, when we have our parentheses with an integer, you're going to multiply each thing when you distribute it in. So it's going to be 18 minus, so this one's going to be 2 times negative 2t, so that's going to be negative 4t. So from there, we're going to go through the exact same process. We're going to combine like terms. Nothing to combine on this side because we did the distributive property. We're going to move all the variables to one side. So on this one, I'm going to add, so remember, we have our negative here, we have positive and positive. So I'm going to add our variable over here, our 4t, to both sides. So plus 4t to both sides, which is going to cancel over here, give us 18 equals negative 12, 10t. So 10t minus 12 equals 18. Now we're going to put all the integers on one side. So we've got negative 12 to 18. So our opposite of subtracting is going to be to add. So we're going to add 12 to both sides. This is going to give us 10t equals 30. So now our next step is going to be to solve for the missing variable. So our missing variable is t. So currently t is multiplying by 10. So we're going to divide by 10 on both sides to give us t equals 3. So just like before, we're going to check our work. So t equals 3. We're going to put that after we erase all this. Okay, so our t we got is 3. So we're going to plug it in for each different part. So we've got 6 by 3 minus 2 equals 2 times 9 minus 2 by 3. So first thing we're going to do is the parentheses on both sides to follow our order of operations. So over here we've got 3 minus 2. That's going to give us 1. So we're going to have 6 times 1 on this side. On this side, we've got to do multiplication first. So that gives us 6 minus 9 in the parentheses. That's going to give us 9 minus 6, which is going to be 3 by 2. So we end up with the equation 6 by 1 equals 2 by 3. So when we do the multiplication on that side, we're going to have 6 equals 6, which means that we checked our equation and we're good to go on this side.